Hey everyone, so I decided to observe Molly. She's a past student of mine from Korea, age 7, of course, when I taught her. A bit of information about her: she was in a monolingual class. B1 independent users, what I would have rated her classes, they were able to keep and hold English conversations throughout the 50-minute period. She was highly motivated, which I'm sure she still is, and self disciplined. So I can relate to authors Ellis and Sinclair's 1989's bullets of what a good language learner entails. Molly, I felt, fit the description well. I feel she was a kinesthetic and visual learner, as role playing for her is where she felt the most at ease and engaged, I think. Being inquisitive helped in that she was at that why stage. But then again, she was 7, so I think they all were. Regardless of the type of lesson that was presented, though, Molly tolerated a lot, especially knowing that she might not take in as much as she may or wanted or needed that day. All my students were asked to keep a vocabulary journal, and Molly's proved to be the exception to the rule. She alphabetized her list to make it easier for her personal use. That level of organization for a 7 year old still blows me away today. My students were also asked to keep weekly journals and turn them in at the end of the week. Molly was realistic in that she wasn't keen on writing, but loved to see where she stood grammatically, as that was her major focus most lessons. I can still hear her today say, "Miriam, teacher, is that right?" So I think she was content with her material, though she knew it was not realistically her strong suit. Reading Harmer and realizing I'd been doing agency control the whole time was a total shock, as it had a name and I was unaware. Molly, on the other hand, was self aware in that she took suggestions and discussions of when I would say, "What would y'all like for homework? Remember, we must focus on the lessons and it must entail either, reading, writing, or listening." She knew that she could do 2 out of the 3 most times and still felt good about the assignment that she had to do, of course. Molly was always open to new ideas and experimenting. She usually would ask me before the week ended for tasks, ideas, even games she could probably play with her little brother. Her ability to be organized, I think, and attack a plan of action of self study really speaks volumes about a student. She loved the idea of being a teacher to her little brother, and that in itself is an amazing feeling, I think. I can also say she was self-critical, sorry, and that she would get frustrated when she'd make a common error. She preferred on the spot correction, as to where I look back now and notice a lot of my students didn't. Molly was taking notes the whole time and making sure to memorize her errors and corrections being made, leaving me with memorization. Upon arrival to Korea, I noticed that all my students were constantly having to memorize stories, paragraphs, large sections of conversations, newspaper articles, and I thought, how is this really a valid form of learning? After reading Harmer and seeing him quote Nick Ellis, 2001, and I quote, "Nick Ellis and others have hypothesized that working memory may be the most important variable." Clearly, I think there is a method to the madness.